What is going on? I'm already here for another lunch break with me. Is the quarterback to this Facebook Live show, Jon Finkel. What's up, man?
Yeah, I was gonna say, if I'm the quarterback, are you the slot receiver? Are you the tight end, running back? Where are you at?
Running back. Always, like back in the day, man, when I was a kid, I always wanted to be a running back as a Bo Jackson. One of my favorite numbers was 34. So you can be the quarterback, I'll be the running back. So.
I like it. I'm not super accurate, but I do have a laser rocket arm, so I'm fine.
There you go.
I can toss. I can sling it.
Thanks for joining us, everybody. The lunch break, like we said before, last Monday we had a great show talking about kid mascots and food mascots and all that good stuff. And we kind of mentioned we're going to be talking about all the people you're going to see at the Super Bowl party. John, are you going to one or no? Because the Patriots are in, or are you?
I am. I always we have our good friends down the street have people over. I will usually leave shortly after kickoff, but the party starts pretty early, so I don't mind hanging out. It's not like I have any pregame to do, so I can spend all day there, and my family will probably stay there longer than I will. But after kickoff, I always try. I try to hang, but at a certain point, I'm like, it's usually very early. Can't hear the announcers. I'm not really following. Somebody's talking about something, or someone walked in front of the screen, or about 90 things can happen where I'm just like, I should just be at home watching this game and enjoy it. So then I end up. It's 8 houses away, so I can just walk home. It's not a very big deal.
Gotcha, man. We got people checking in. Always let us know where you. Sorry, what was that?
Oh, no, I didn't say anything. I think it just glitched for a second.
I think it was all right. Cool. Let us know where you're watching from. Let us know if you're gonna care about the Super Bowl. If you are going to a Super Bowl party, we got Scott saying hello from England. Thanks for checking us out. Got Taylor saying the people you're gonna see as drunks. Yes, you will. And our boy Ran checking in as well. What's up, Ran?
Thanks for Ran. Good to see you today. Yeah, we the Super Bowl party is it's an institution at this point. The Super Bowl itself, parties, the get-togethers around it. It's the one day of the year where everybody seems to be focused on a single thing. People get together. It's pretty crazy that we don't get Monday off at this point. It's the closest thing I would get. I would guess it's the most uniting day of any day we have. Probably close to like 4th of July. I would think it's up there with what people do. The game runs late, whether you're a fan of the actual teams or not. But it's usually something awesome to do, and it's a shame we don't get to recognize and have Monday off. We have every other holiday off that people don't participate in. This one actually makes sense.
Now, would you mind? Would you be cool with this? With the Super Bowl going from Sunday to Saturday?
No, football is Sunday. I get that. I've heard that before, that they put it Saturday, then they have to worry about Sunday. But I like the build up Saturday. If they did it, I'd be against it. But something about Sunday, something about Super Bowl Sunday, tradition is what it is. But if they changed it, I wouldn't not watch or something. But I'm fine with it. I think it's pretty cool. I think that a lot of people look forward to it more than they look forward to almost any other day, even their own birthday.
I love it, especially if my team's in it. I'm like excited. I don't think I watch starting at 11 or noon, all the coverage. I kind of maybe start watching around like 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock ish. So yeah, I mean, are you going to be like watching all of that stuff or no?
No, I usually, the Pats have been in it so much. I have a Super Bowl routine. I've actually been able to build up my own Super Bowl routine, just like the Patriots have to go every year, and they know how to handle the media. I know how to handle that day. You don't want to burn yourself out as a fan too early. You don't want to drink too early, like too much, where by the time the game starts, you're tired already. So my move is usually to take it really, really easy. I like to also not watch too much during the day. I think because as a Pats fan, and when your team is in it, you end up watching the whole thing. And even if they get, if it's a close game, you end up watching a lot of the post game. So you don't want to spend like the 2-3 hours before the game also sitting on the couch doing something. So I tend to wake up Sunday, get a good heavy lift in early in the morning, take the kids outside, be out of the house, and then go to the Super Bowl party, whatever we're doing on Central Time, like 2 or 3, hang out for a few hours. And then by the time the game started, I've had a full day and I'm ready to go.
Nice, man. Of course, Kingberg coming in strong. Sup, potato chips.
There you go.
Talk of the day. Yeah, for people who are experiencing the polar vortex or the Arctic vortex, whatever the heck it is. Stay warm. You got Alex checking in saying, talk of the day, the wild weather. But I called off and staying at home playing Madden 19 before Super Bowl. Whoop, whoop, Chicago, hashtag Chicago, Illinois.
Man, I miss the snow days and the days of like, I have nothing else to do. I'm playing 4 hours of Madden right now. It was my favorite thing. It was one of my favorite things ever. The second, when I was a kid and we had a snow day or an Arctic, we didn't have Arctic vortex days, but or polar vortex days. It was within like minutes. We didn't have texting, we didn't have any stuff. The calls would go around, and somehow, though there was no school, 8 of us would be able to trek, like fight through the snow and the snow drifts to one person's house and have Madden tournaments and drink RC Cola all day long.
Nice. RC Cola. Blake saying, nope, hashtag not my Super Bowl. Scott says, I sometimes watch NFL whenever.
Scott's from England, though, so he's not really. Remember, he just said he's from England. So, Scott, yeah, Patriots are Boston. Rams are LA, though, of course, if you're trying to follow, they were in St. Louis, but then they were in LA before that again. So it's very difficult to figure out. But the Super Bowl is in Atlanta, repping the College Football Hall of Fame, who I've done a lot of work with, getting a lot of love this week in Atlanta for their facility there. A lot of the athletes are going, a lot of the media are going. So that place is, if you're in Atlanta, quick plug for it. I love that place. College Football Hall of Fame is fantastic. So head over there.
Nate, happy birthday to your son on Sunday. That's great. That's a Super Bowl party that anybody can get behind, right?
Yeah, a discount double check belt for his birthday. It looks like from your icon there.
Sean's like, I can't bet against Tom Brady. Count how many times he gets said at the party. That's a good person right there. We actually recorded a podcast. It's coming out on Friday. Kind of going in along with this story, along with this topic, and that we totally missed that person, right?
Yeah, that's a good one. We'll go through the list. I like it. So people are sending in. If you're looking, they're sending in the weather where they are now. So King Luke says it's -20 where he is. Brock -18 with the wind chill in Cincinnati. -20. Yeah. So the coldest I've ever been in. I was in Minnesota. I believe it was Patriots were playing. I was visiting my good buddy. Pats were playing Minnesota Monday Night Football. And when we got out of the game, it was like December and January, that time of year. It was -4. And with the wind chill of like -12 or 15. And the underground thing wasn't working. We had to go to the car. We had to walk outside for like 15 minutes. And -13 wind chill is pretty damn cold. So I've been in it. I've experienced it. I actually am weird. I like temperatures in the 20s. I'm not against it. I like temperatures in the 20s. Tommy, I hear you, man. I don't know what to do about it. I would be.
Did you hear the rumors that Sean Payton was wearing a Commissioner Goodell clown shirt?
Yeah, that's awesome. It's underneath his other shirt. That's great. What I was saying was, Tommy, I was talking about this with a bunch of my Patriots friends yesterday. Like, if we were playing New Orleans, I would be more nervous for sure. Like, dome, breeze, experience, that team, those offensive weapons. I think they're a better team. I think they should have won, and they didn't. But I don't have a problem winning against the Rams.
Give a shout out to Brock Lush. He says Super Bowl party. This is pretty cool. Big chili cook-off with the winner getting a golden ladle.
Oh wow, that's awesome.
I like that. I mean, Brock's a really cool guy. We've had him on the Life of Dad, the Art of Conversation. You should check out his podcast as well, the Nomad podcast. It's a good thing, and he's actually doing something for Dad 2.0. It's a dad conference, so. Follow Brock. He's got a good podcast, and he's definitely a friend of Life of Dad. So thanks for checking in, man. Brock also did the boiling water thrown into the air, and it turned into snow immediately. Videos on my stories. Here you go, John. Martin says, "Let's go Patriots."
Yes, we got a "Let's go Patriots" person. To what we were talking about earlier, we have a list of like 10 people you'll see at the Super Bowl party, but one of them is the you can't bet against Tom Brady guy. But there's another guy who I thought about I left off my original list, which we'll go through, is the guy who has he says his thing is this is the key to the game, but it's the most obvious thing. Like There's a guy who I know tomorrow, since I'm a Patriots fan and I won't be with them all game, but early on will be like, got to say, Edelman's the key to the whole thing. Like, got to get Edelman involved. Got to get him involved.
No, you got to attack Brady. That's the key to the game. Man. Look what happened. Look what the Giants did. Look what the Giants did, man.
Yeah. They always have that one person. Like, listen, I was thinking about it. They got to figure out a way to get James White involved, and I'll be like, yeah, really, the Super Bowl MVP. Like, you think that's a guy to get involved with like 25 catches in the Super Bowl? You think that's an original opinion that maybe they should get him involved? Like, I appreciate it.
Kurt Roberts says, hosting a Super Bowl party. My man John has got some strong words for people hosting a Super Bowl party that that pretty much give a sigh every time they bring out a plate, or they really don't want to host it, but for some reason they're hosting it.
That's a good place to start. So let's start the list. I kept it from our call. We'll count back all the way down. So these are the top 10 people you'll see at a Super Bowl party in any particular order we've gone through. But whoever just said they're hosting, the number 8 person for me is the stressed out Super Bowl host. This is the person who every time the game's on, they kind of peek their head in. Could be a wife, could be a husband. It's someone who bit off more than they can chew, and they want you to know that they're not just sitting on their butt watching the game. They come in with the chili, and they make little remarks like, oh, it must be nice. Oh, what's the score? Oh, yeah, I didn't realize it was a part of the second. Well, if I had some help in the kitchen, I could probably sit down and watch it. Or
guys, if you're done with the drinks, just put them in the recycle. There's a recycle can right here. Put them in there, please. Come on.
So is anybody going to want the chili reheated? Because I can put it on. I'll just put it on. You just got to ask me, because I'd rather just sit down and watch the game than reheat the chili. But I'll reheat the chili. Like,
is it too warm in here? Speaking of chili, trying to do a dad joke. Is it too warm in here? What's going on?
Hey, yeah. That guy's good. So if you are going to host, suck it up. You're not going to get to enjoy it as much as possible. If you have a lot of people, I mean, you can host with 6 people and watch as much of the game. But if you're having a real party, dozen, 20 people or whatever, and you've chosen to host, you simply you have to take a sacred vow that you will not complain that you're doing the hosting duties while people are trying to watch the game, because you signed up to be the host.
No. Here, where was the other thing that we just had right over here? Fair weather fans. That's another thing that we didn't have in our list too. You have the fair weather fans where someone comes in kind of wearing it's almost like when you go to like a Motley, I'm just gonna throw it out there, like a Motley Crue concert and you're wearing an AC/DC t-shirt. Like, for this Rams and Patriots, if you don't have like a jersey for them, don't feel like you need to wear like a Steelers jersey or a 49.
That is very confusing.
You don't need that. Like, there's not. I mean, I could see if like you're having, not that anyone, maybe people do, but if you're throwing a Pro Bowl party, sure, go ahead, because there's going to be a 49er or a Steeler or whatever. But like a Super Bowl, don't do that. And then all of a sudden, like if you're wearing a Steelers one, you're probably going to go for the Rams. But then all of a sudden, you're like, whoever's winning, like, oh, Patriots, man, I hope they get their 6th ring. No, you don't.
That's really interesting. I've seen that before. The I love football gal who's like, whatever. I'm a Bengals fan. I'm wearing on my old school Sison jersey, and it's like, I mean, you wear what you want, but it doesn't really. I don't understand it. But here's another thing. So you said there's the fair weather fan. Then number 7 on our list was the guy who was just against the team that most people are rooting for no reason and is obnoxious about it. Like, I'm just sick of the Pats. Or, a couple of years ago, like, I'm so sick of Peyton Manning. I hate Denver. Like, I'm not rooting for Denver. And everything that happens, you're like, all of a sudden, you didn't spend the year rooting against these people. You actually have no real rooted interest in rooting against them. They're not your rival team. But now at the biggest game of the year, when you're at a Super Bowl party, when, 3/4 of the people have a vested interest in them winning, now's your time to put on your little jerk hat and be like, oh, Deflategate. Like, what? Why? Just go home. Like, are you really enjoying it that much to harass the people who are actually fans of this team, and then you all of a sudden decide to be against it?
Creed Anthony right over here. Good guy, fan of Life of Dad, friend of Life of Dad. He's a Browns fan, and of course, there are certain exceptions to the rule, and you're one of them, Creed. So yeah, you can wear that, Sarah.
If you wear it everywhere, then going to the Super Bowl party is not a big deal because people see you in it all the time. If I've never seen you in a football jersey ever, and you show up in a Steve Largent Seahawks throwback, I might wonder what the hell you're doing.
Okay, so, man, yeah, I understand, because that's not a time. for me, like when I think of like that, I have a pair of Jordans that would go sweet with throwback Seahawks jerseys. But again, I'm not going to bring that unless for some reason I want to rock my shoes, man.
Yeah, well, that's a whole outfit thing. But you like, especially if you're the one I've seen. This happened a while back. My parents, my dad used to have a Super Bowl party growing up, and I remember one year, the year the Patriots were in it. I was in college, but it was the year they played Green Bay and lost way back in '96, maybe. And I drove home from it, and my parents we were all in our Patriots gear, and there were a couple people were Green Bay fans. And I remember like a bunch of people showed up wearing like their Jets stuff, like the whole family, like mom, dad, kids wearing Jets gear. And I was like, what? They're not even in the game. Like, I don't even understand what you're doing. It's just, you just love football, that if there's a game, you got to put all your stuff on.
I gotta admit, man, I think, sometimes it takes a man to admit when they're wrong. You and I might be in the minority here, because everyone's like, oh, I wear my Aaron Rodgers, I wear my Peyton Manning, I wear Cleveland Browns. Like, I think we're the only people.
Yeah, no, I always thought, look, it's my opinion. I'm not saying like I'd throw anybody out. And if there's a good reason for it, that's okay. But I always feel like it's just confusing on a Super Bowl thing. But all right, whatever. Here's my mind to be changed.
No doubt. Like here's a good thing right here. Trevor says, what about the dads who aren't sports fans? Great question. And this is one of the things that we talked about on the podcast is coming out on Friday. If you're not a sports fan, don't worry about going to the game. If you don't feel like, I don't want to like hear football and the commercials and all that stuff, this is your time to go out. And this is like a vacation time for you, because most everybody is going to be at someone's home or a bar watching the game. If you go to the store, go see a movie, go to the mall, do whatever you want, whatever you're into, I guarantee you, probably it's not going to be busy unless it's a restaurant, bar, or someone's house, right?
Yeah, and this is my other thought, Trevor, and for people, dads who aren't sports fans, like you're an adult, like you're a grown man. You've heard of the Super Bowl your entire life, right? So you know kind of what it is. If you would enjoy it, you'd enjoy it. Even if you can go and hang out with your friends and enjoy being around people, and you don't have to care about the game. That's why they have this huge halftime show and all the commercials. And now you have your phone, you could watch whatever you want there. But my thought is always, if it's going to be a good time in general, you can go. But since it's probably not the first time you've heard of the Super Bowl or wondered about the Super Bowl, it's not like you're like, this is the first time I've heard of football. What is this game? Like, you have a light of a familiarity with it. So you can go, and it's just to be with everybody. But if not, yeah, go see a movie. Go do something else.
No doubt. McFly saying, I bet they're going to do Baby Shark during the Super Bowl. Baby pick six, do.
Yeah. Yeah, that is probably a good move to have. So let's see here. This is the other person. So this is actually probably a cousin of the person who's not into football at all. This was number 5. The person who is just beyond way too into just the commercials, right? So it used to be that the companies would hold these commercials and they'd air a massive commercial, a 30-second, 1 minute, 2 minute commercial that they paid millions and millions of dollars for the Super Bowl. And that was most likely the first time you would see it, and perhaps for a little while the only time you would see it. So, it was annoying to people who really like football, but when people would hush down and be like, oh, no, wait, this is the Apple one, or this is the Coke commercial that everybody's been hearing about, or whatever. But now in 2019, when you can have probably seen the teaser for the commercial or the trailer for the commercial, and for sure, the minute that commercial finished airing, it is on every social media outlet ever, just shut up about the commercials. Like, they're all right, but they're going to be on your phone 30 seconds after they aired. So if someone's standing in the corner, or someone walks across the screen, or you're in the bathroom when it like actually starts, who the hell cares? Just watch it on your phone. You don't have to be like, oh, I missed the new Budweiser Frog reunion, you got to go back. Like, no. People are watching a game live.
There's a frog reunion?
I made that up. I don't know. The Budweiser. I wish they would come back.
Well, Geico's doing the whole they're rehashing all of theirs. I mean, whoever the marketing person behind that is a genius. Hey, what's our next Geico commercial?
Yeah.
Why don't we do it like running our old commercials back from back in the day? Genius.
Yeah, exactly. And then to Trevor's point, like, you don't have to. The Super Bowl. The beauty of the Super Bowl is that other than the 2 major fan bases, and other than gamblers and some other people, like, it's a casual watch, right? Like, obviously, like someone like Trevor, like if you're going to a house and they're all diehard Rams fans, that's probably one to avoid. But if you're living somewhere where it's not a whole group of people rooting for one team and it's just, hey, let's watch the Super Bowl, it should be fine. You don't have to be into the game. You can bet on the squares. Also, here's the flip side of it. Football is awesome. Maybe, maybe read a book on, like a really good football book, or maybe start watching the NFL Network, Good Morning Football a little bit to familiarize yourself with it, and maybe next year you'll be a diehard fan.
No doubt. Kelly says, diehard armchair quarterback who thinks their last name is Montana can be a little much of the party. Yes, I understand, because they're like, oh, why did you see that guy that was wide open? I don't know, because there's like 12 guys, or 11 guys, trying to bust up the play.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, you're not playing in the NFL for a reason, because you're not that good. Tom Brady and Jared Goff are, so that's why they're playing. Speaking of gamblers, another thing is like the squares guy or the prop bet guy. This is definitely, we talked about this on our podcast, where it's like this guy wants to get every action possible. Like, I haven't seen this, but I'm wondering if anybody out there can weigh in on this. If someone has did a prop bet about all right, what's coming out first, chicken wings or pigs in a blanket? I wonder if that ever happened.
Yeah, I had friends who gambled when I used to be, and live with all my friends in California. Like, we gamble on every possible thing. Is the next commercial a car commercial? Is the next commercial a fast food commercial? Who's gonna be the first? What color hair is the girl gonna have in the first commercial? Like, anything that comes up, you could bet on. So I think that's one of the fun parts. But you have to know the room. Like, so much of this is knowing the room. How's the room feeling? If you're in a group of guys, if you're in a room with a bunch of dudes who are all playing fantasy football together and they all know each other and you kind of feel left out, that's probably not the room you want to jump in on. Oh, that was a wheel route. They should have had cover 2, but they didn't. And they're gonna be like, what? What? So even if you know a ton, just take it easy, enjoy yourself. The only good thing about the gambler is if they early on have one giant bet and kind of let everybody know. That's an exception to the gambler being annoying. I agree totally, Sean. But a couple times someone will come and be like, all right, prop bet, Todd Gurley's going to have over 7 catches. I put everything on as my only bet. It's kind of fun to know that every now and then.
Yeah, because you're rooting for that.
Right, but if it's the person who has, we were talking about the 7-team parlay, and they paired the game with the Kentucky basketball game, the Sacramento.
James Harden scoring 45 points or more.
Yeah, and James Harden scoring 40+, and this is only the third leg of the parlay, and the third leg is only Brady will throw over 275. We don't need that. We all don't need to hear from you for that.
Kingbird brings up a great point. Tony Romo will be calling all the plays beforehand anyways. Here's the thing. I love he's good. He's good at the game and all that stuff, and it just kind of goes to show you can look at it 2 ways. One, when you're up in the booth, it's a lot easier because you're seeing something from a different level and you're not worried about certain things as a quarterback. But I love that one meme. It's like, Tony Romo was so good. Where was this when he was on the field?
yeah, I know. I saw that. I mean, it's true. It's true. I think, reading it from way up there is probably way different. Plus, you're not the pressure, physically exhausted. So I'll give Romo a pass there.
Oh, no, I'm giving him a pass, but I didn't really think of it that way. I was just
you think about it. Clearly, other quarterbacks do that. I mean, Aikman, how many quarterbacks have gone in the booth and don't do that, right? So clearly he has a supercomputer mind with it, but maybe his physical exhaustion just got him over it, or maybe the decision-making when you're, I don't know, who knows.
I wonder if Peyton Manning would be even more than that, him and Tom Brady, probably Tom Brady would be similar to Romo, but I think Peyton Manning would just even call audibles on audibles.
I don't think Tom could ever do it because you can't win a broadcast. I think he'd be like, this is it. I just talk about the game. I can't win anything after this.
No, there's a competition.
Yeah.
Think about it. He retires and he's like, oh, he's going to go in the booth. The next question would be like, oh, you think he's going to be better than Tony Romo? You're damn right I'm going to be better than Tony Romo.
Wait a minute. Yeah. Rand is saying that his grandfather would bet his wooden leg on these games, which is amazing. Is it the kind of leg that what kind of leg? Is it one where you could go make it with a lathe and replace it quickly, or is this a real standard leg, Rand? I'm curious about how the wooden leg scenario would go. But yeah, people got all kinds of stuff. I think it's cool. I like we talked about the squares. Let me see on my list here who we haven't covered yet. Yeah, somebody said the two into the food person. I think Kelly said
he did.
And that is someone who is kind of annoying. Especially I'm okay with everybody liking Super Bowl food. But there's the person who is too into like the thing they spent enslaved hours on, like the chili with cumin and too much basil or whatever, and it's like, try the chili, try that. And you're like, yeah, it's good. I mean, it's fine. Or like, yeah,
I got the recipe from Rachel Ray yesterday. You're gonna love it.
Yeah. Did you try the wings with the special Worcestershire sauce seasoning? And it's like, I don't know. There you go. Very good. That's funny, Creed.
Creed, way to go, man. Nice. Oh, I love it. Oh, for firewood. Nice.
There you go.
Woo. We need more snow days. Creed's a teacher, so I think we need more snow days in the Midwest so we can have him have these one-liners as well. Ran, Kingbird, Kelly, everybody who like is legit always like on the show. We appreciate it. And then like
lunch break fans.
Yeah, and then for those people who have are bearing the cold weather in the Midwest, we love you. Thanks for doing that. Sean Kingbird says a person who does nothing but talk and it's never about the game. Yes.
That person will literally tell you every Netflix show they watch, every movie they've seen, what's happening at work. And if you don't take a stand early, even if you're not like, they might think like, well, your team, what's your team? And you might be like, oh, I'm a Chargers fan. They're like, oh, so your team's not in this. You don't care, but you still like football. You gotta shut that person down. Yeah. You gotta just say to them, look, I don't know you. And the ancillary, the secondary thing that makes that person even worse is if you've never met them before. Like, it's okay. Like we all have our own friends who like we're like, dude, shut up. But if it's someone who you don't even know, and they're just like a friend of a friend from work who decided to come by, and you're watching it, and they're like, did you read that article about? And you just, dude,
about boat safety in the wintertime?
I'm not being rude, and I know there's no way to say this to be nice, but I just want to watch the game. I didn't come here. It's not a mixer. I don't need to meet new people.
Yeah, no doubt. Like, yeah, because you always wonder, like who is this person in relation to the person who's hosting the party?
Yeah.
If I say something, are they going to be appreciative? Or are they going to be like, why you doing that? So yeah.
Yeah, the parties that I always had the least fun at were when there was too many people I didn't know, and I always tried to keep it small. Eventually, when I lived in California for those 10 years, we would move it to, we had our big group of friends, and if the Patriots were in it, it was just the Patriots fans of that group, which was like 9 guys. It was perfect. If you had a girlfriend or something, that was fine too, but everybody there was only rooting for the Patriots. When the Patriots weren't in it, a few times a friend wouldn't be having it, or a friend of a friend would have it, and we'd all roll in. And we were like, this sucks. We should just keep it with our group, because I don't need to know, like, people, what do you do for work? Oh, where do you live? How long do you live in LA? And it's like, I actually like football. This is the biggest football game of the year. It doesn't matter to me. I'm probably not going to see you again. You don't need to know that I grew up in Boston and blah, blah.
No doubt. No doubt. Everybody, thanks for checking out the show. You guys have a great weekend.
Super Bowl special. 20% off the book.
Right here. I was gonna get to that. Don't you worry. I was gonna get to that. Buy the book. Amazon, Books A Million, Barnes and Noble, wherever books are sold. Pick it up. But obviously it's Wednesday. It's not the weekend yet, but we won't see until Monday. You'll see a very elated John, or we still have 5 Super Bowl rings, John, or maybe a depressed John. I don't know. I think he's gonna. You want them to win, but I think you're not gonna be as depressed as the Rams if they lose, right?
It's hard for me to tell. So much of it is how the game goes, right? If it's a brutal loss, then no matter how many you've been to, it hurts. If you get blown out, whatever. So I reserve all my rights to how I'll feel on Monday. I believe Pats will win 34-31.
Okay. What is your prediction? Let's do the predictions before we go. It's a good
prediction. Pats 34-31, maybe 34-24, but I think we end up, for some reason my brain is set on the Pats winning 34-31 or 34-24, something along those lines. That's what I think.
Me, Patriots 35, Rams 24, 21, 24-ish. I'm seeing that. I just think that whatever Belichick he's going to take away the defensive rushers for the Rams, they're just going to find a way. They're going to find a way. Kelly's saying 24-17.
Good. Hey, we'll put up a link for the book, so you guys can just go right in here in the comments and buy it. But also, we did a little stat check on the book yesterday, and of the 120 plus people that are in the book, the football players that played in, I think it was 35 Super Bowls. So if you're into football, there's plenty of football dad knowledge to be spread around from the book. So check that out too.
Definitely check that out. Again, I'm going to put the link for you guys to purchase the book.
I like it. Everybody's coming in on the Pats so far. I like it a lot.
Here we go. Let's see. Boom.
27-24 Pat says Kingbird. All right, good. This is good. I like it. Everybody's coming in strong.
Yeah, I think everybody's smart. There's the link. Yeah, Kingbird. Kelly's saying that. All right, so for John and I, thanks again for checking out the show. We loved all this conversation.
Still here.
What? Still
here.
Stop it. Creed saying 24-21. Edelman finished the game as a quarterback because Belichick wants to flex his coaching muscles.
Do that. He's been a quarterback.
Awesome. For everybody, thanks again for checking out the lunch break. We'll see you all next week. Have a great rest of the week and enjoy those Super Bowl parties. And don't be that guy.
Don't be that guy.
We just talked about the party.